And on the 5th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 5 gold rings. Now, I won't torture you by singing the rest of that song, but to me this year 5 gold rings means something a little bit different. If you don't know who I am, my name's Anthony Steers. For my job, I'm known as the telephone assassin. I teach people good manners and advanced common sense on the phone, but we call it sales or customer service training typically. But the reason I want to share this message, and I've never really done a message like this before, but this year has been a tough year for lots of people, and although there are lots of people who are stepping up, and we owe lots of thanks to the NHS, there's a lot of people out there who are really struggling. So I wanted to record a little message to encourage you to take the song about the 5 gold rings slightly differently this year, and I'd like you to make 5 phone calls to people who your phone call will really make their day and hopefully make you feel good too. So to give you a little bit of guidance on the sort of people that you might want to phone, I figured I would give you 5 potential reasons to phone somebody. So the first one could be anybody that you know who lives alone. People who are on their own at the moment are feeling really isolated, and I know that Christmas is going to be a really hard time for them. So any friends that you've got, neighbours that you know are on their own, do give them a phone call. They will really appreciate a conversation with you. You also have people who are going through quite tough times at the moment. I think we know that there's a lot of businesses out there who are really struggling. So if you've got any friends, family, colleagues, people who you know have been massively hit by this, again, give them a call. They will really appreciate it. Family members. I've put this one down because some families are bigger than others, and some of us are spread out quite a lot. My sister, one of them, is over in Australia, so I don't get to speak to her that often, but with the blessing of technology, I get to do that more and more now. So if there's any family members you haven't spoken to for ages, and it could be the more frustrating cousins that you don't really get on with, or that annoying uncle that always comes around at Christmas, give them a call. They will appreciate it, and they'll love to know that you are thinking about them. And you're actually probably quite lucky this year with lockdown conditions tightening up. I'm in Berkshire. I believe we're about to go into tier 3. It means you can't even invite them for Christmas, so a quick phone call is, I think, at least you would owe them, and something that I'm sure that they would appreciate. Another one on my list are just old friends. I've got some old school friends who I touch base with throughout the year. I know, again, some of them are having tough times, and I'm going to make the effort to reach out to a lot of them just to let them know I am still thinking about them, and although I can't see them, I do think about some of the good times we had that make me smile, so I need to reach out and tell them a little bit more. And then the 5th and final one, if you do need some inspiration, could be anybody that perhaps you need to apologise to if you've been out of order, and I think a lot of us have been under a lot of pressure at the moment. I think sometimes reaching out and saying you're sorry to somebody is always quite a good grown-up thing, and there aren't many people who won't accept your apology, and at least you know if you've tried, you've been the bigger person and made the effort. So if you do owe somebody an apology, that's always a hard pill to swallow, but it's a proud call to make, and I promise you it will make you feel so much better afterwards as well. And if you haven't got anybody to apologise to, you may know somebody who is just quite upset and sad at the moment. They may have lost somebody to COVID and be about to going into their first Christmas without that person. So there are plenty of people out there who I think could do with a little bit of cheering up and a bit of a smile. So I've mentioned some people that will hopefully, or sorts of people which was, fingers crossed, jogged your memory of some people that you could reach out to for your 5 gold rings this year. But if you are wondering what to say to people or how to start things off, this is kind of my forte. I do, like I say, a lot of training around teaching people manners for customer service and sales over the telephone. But a couple of things that I've scribbled down is just to start off by telling people that you have been thinking about them, and you just thought you'd give them a call rather than sending them a little message. It's amazing when you say that to somebody, you can hear them smiling, and just thinking, knowing that you're thinking about them quite often just lets them know that people do care. So that's always a really good way to start things off. Obviously, just ask people how they're doing, how they're coping with the lockdown conditions, and what they're going to be doing over Christmas. Obviously, our plans are much more different now, and we can't all get together, so just asking them that question. And it may be that they haven't got a huge amount of plans, and you might decide that actually at some point on Christmas Day, a quick video call or a phone call to them would probably lift their spirits. So it might lead you to your next phone call with them as well. And just checking generally that people are okay. I think most of us tend to just say, yeah, we're okay or we're fine when we're asked that, but just check with people that they are actually okay, and that once people start to admit that they're not okay but that is okay, I think we can then start being more honest with each other and having just some decent conversations. Other quick pointers that I scribbled down, and apologies, I don't normally do videos quite like this, but I'm a bit nervous if I'm honest with you. But if people ask you questions when you phone them up, it's quite easy to deflect the effort in the conversation by just asking you lots of questions so that you do all of the talking. Try and get in there first with a couple of questions and show an interest in their answers. And my tip would be, the first time or second time they try and ask you a question, keep it short and sweet and then fire another one back at them. People love to talk about themselves and they love to know that people are interested and that they care. So if you can show that to people, then I think they'll really appreciate it. So if I'm honest with you, the last thing I've said is part of the training that I give about taking final responsibility at the end of a conversation about when you're next going to speak to somebody. I think that's a nice commitment to show people that you do care and that you'll make an effort not to lose touch and to stay in touch with them. So at the end of the call, if they've got some big plans or something that they're going to be doing next year, find out when that thing may have happened and set a reminder in your calendar, okay, that just reminds you to give them a quick call and check in and see how they're doing. So I hope this video has kind of inspired you to be a really good person and go and make 5 golden rings and make 5 people's day, because I promise you, not only will you make their Christmas better, but you'll make yourself feel better too. So I wish you a very Merry Christmas and a very Happy New Year.